Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. It's February 6th. And, the buzz has been the Mookie Betts trade. And, it may be on hold. So I was reading last night and this morning about the Twins pitcher that is to be headed to Boston. And now there are concerns about Graterol going to Red Sox because the Red Sox have found out there may be problems with Graterol's medical records. They may demand some additional compensation. The report from Ken Rosenthal in The Athletic is that the review of the medical records has led Boston to project him as, quote, more a reliever than a starter, end of quote, which Boston apparently was looking for a starting pitcher. So now, in order to make the deal, there may be another player involved. So wait, it's not final yet. But it will be. Graterol, who, of course, made his Major League debut last September, he had missed multiple months with some type of shoulder issue. And now Rosenthal adds that the authorities who are making the decision on the trade are confident the deal will be finalized, but the final components may be different than originally thought. So that's going to be interesting to see who or what adjustments are made. Mookie Betts is going to L.A. Okay, that's a deal. That deal is made. There will be some additional consideration, probably. But let's look at that trade. I mean, I've been thinking about that trade all week. The Dodgers, their top 6 prospects last weekend, before the Mookie Betts trade was announced, were in order: Gavin Lux 1, Dustin May 2, Keibert Ruiz, Josiah Gray, Jeter Downs. Coming in, another one, Tony Gonsolin. You go on: Cody Hoyce, Michael Busch, Mitchell White, Dennis Santana. The Dodgers' top 10 prospects in their organization last weekend before the Mookie Betts trade. Okay, so now look at the top 10 prospects of the Dodgers: Gavin Lux, Dustin May, Keibert Ruiz, Josiah Gray, Jeter Downs, Tony Gonsolin, Cody Hoyce, Michael Busch, Mitchell White, Dennis Santana. What? They're the same 10 players. So, not saying that Verdugo can't be a great player in Boston, because he certainly can. But we know Mookie Betts is not only, or was not only, a great player in Boston. He's one of the top players in all of Major League Baseball. And you would think, I would have thought, that the Red Sox would have gotten more. But when you look at the reality of it, the Red Sox were playing in desperation mode. Budget concerns, Mookie's contract being up. And other teams knew it. The Dodgers knew it. The Dodgers knew they did not have to give up a top prospect. Now, had they gone after Frankie Lindor, certainly they would have had to have given up a top prospect, because Lindor has more time remaining on the contract. Cleveland, not in a desperation type situation that Boston felt they were in. They had offered Mookie $300+ million. Mookie demanded $400. Mookie wanted to leave Boston. Mookie wanted to become a free agent. Mookie wants the most money he can get, and I don't blame him. Boston knew he was going to walk. And they were only going to get at best a draft pick. Better to trade him now and get something than hold on to him and get nothing. So that's what they did. And I expect by the trade deadline, if he is healthy, Chris Sale will be wearing a different ball cap too. I think the Red Sox are going to try to unload that contract. And then look at what it does. Look at the money freed up for Boston. Then to go out and sign other players. And don't rule out, if they can get rid of Sale's contract, that they may very well re-sign Mookie Betts, or try to. I don't rule it out. Let's talk about something other than Mookie Betts, shall we? I'd like to stay, though, in the American League East and talk about Big Maple. Yankee pitcher James Paxton undergoing surgery, 3 to 4 months on the shelf. What does that do to the Yankees? You know, the way I read and I've done my own calculating, it looks like Paxton and Herman will be coming back around, if not the same time. Paxton and Herman will make a major impact, I think, once they both return. Now, for very different reasons, they're both going to be missing time. But Paxton just always seems to have some kind of injury. The Yankees announced he had microscopic lumbar discectomy. Ooh, that doesn't sound good, does it? With removal of a periodiscal cyst, and the surgery was performed by Dr. Andrew Dossett in Dallas. And the club has said it's 3 to 4 months. Now, this injury was first reported last September. Paxton received an injection. His first start, if you recall, in the ALCS against Houston was pushed back from Game 1 to Game 2. And during the offseason, Paxton has consulted with several doctors, but now it's surgery. Great numbers, right? 31-year-old. He was 15-6 with a 3.82 ERA in 29 starts in his first year in New York. Now, he is eligible for free agency after this season, so this is his walk year. Remember, he was part of the trade with Justice Sheffield. And with Paxton now unavailable, the Yankees' rotation might look something like this: Garrett Cole, Luis Severino, Masahiro Tanaka, J.A. Happ. Now, there are other contenders for a fifth rotation spot: Jordan Montgomery, Luis Cessa, Devi Garcia, Jonathan Loaisiga. But the fact that the Yankees did not trade J. Happ gives them depth, and that's what starting pitching is all about. It's about having adequate depth in the rotation and keeping Happ gives the Yankees at least a durable starter, at least a starter in the 4 slot. And remember, we're talking about a 4 starter. We're not talking about a 1 or a 2 or a 3. Last year, Paxton would have been a 1. Remember, Severino is out. They didn't have Garrett Cole. I think Paxton would have been, going into the season last year, the Yankees' number 1 pitcher. Now he's a 4. Happ doesn't have that pressure on him. And so, good move. Other news. Jose Leclerc. And he's been the topic of a lot of discussion on my show, on Phil Chaplin's show, I'm sure on others. All the talent in the world. And I was going to spend time this morning talking about pitching, but I'm going to be traveling some today, and that show's going to take a lot longer. So that's coming up Monday, okay? We're going to break down pitching, draft pitching, who do you draft, where do you draft, which tiers on Monday. So I'm going to take a step back today and look at this recent news. Leclerc will open spring training as the team's closer. The quote is by General Manager John Daniels, quote, "To the degree that we are putting the bullpen on paper, I'd put him down at the back," end of quote. Now, Leclerc, I drafted him last year, had him on my fantasy teams, and it was, oh my gosh, it was ugly. Horrible. Let's look at why, okay? He did lead the team with 14 saves. But he was removed in the 9th inning role for a big chunk of the season because of the fact that he just struggled. He didn't have it. He was giving up home runs in critical spots. Manager Chris Woodward has said, "I don't think he has anything to prove as a good elite reliever, but finishing games is a different story." It's, we look at the numbers and it's pretty easy to figure out why he struggled last year, okay? And I want to compare Leclerc 2018 to 2019 because it is night and day, really. ERA, let's start there. In 2018, Leclerc had an ERA of 1.56. Yeah. Last year, ERA, 4.33. So, almost tripled. In 2018, he pitched in 59 games. Last year, 70. He had 12 saves in 18 and only 14 last year. And you can't say it's from overuse. 57 innings pitched in 2018, 68 innings pitched last year. But after this, the numbers just skyrocket. Comparing the number of hits he allowed. Only 24 hits in 57 innings in 2018. Last year, 52 hits in 68 innings. So the hits more than doubled. So the swing and miss stuff that he had in 2018, he put it in a box and couldn't find it last year. He gave up more than twice as many runs, 16 in 2018, 34 last year. Earned runs, 10 earned runs in 2018, 33 last year. 1 home run in 2018, 7 he surrendered last year. And his walk, well, he walked a lot more too. 25 walks in 2018 compared to 39 last year. And strikeouts fairly even considering the innings pitched, 85 in 18, 100 last season. So the big difference is he was putting the ball in the zone, batters were hitting it, and then when he wasn't, they were getting on base, which meant when they were hitting it, people were on base, giving up more runs. Leclerc's got to find the hit and miss stuff, and he can't walk people.